Good afternoon, everybody. I want to talk about an important case that came down. It's a farming case, but it really affects broadly all of the property rights that we talk about in any investment property or your home and that kind of a thing. This case started out as a farming complaint where two families that live upwind, hello, upwind of a 8,000 hog farm operation complained that the hog operation was violating all kinds of constitutionally protected rights. It was a nuisance. It was trespassing because there were millions of gallons of liquid hog waste at the hog facility. So you can imagine what millions of gallons of hog waste might smell like. And if you're upwind from it or downwind or whatever the way the wind is blowing and that hits your place, you might think that's terrible. So there's a farming act called the Right to Farm Act. And this basically gives a special exemption to farmers from nuisance and negligence and this kind of a case. And it went up on the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals said the Right to Farm Act didn't violate any of the constitutional aspects that the plaintiffs were complaining of. So specifically, they said, there hadn't been a violation of the Takings Clause, the Open Courts Clause, equal protection, immunities, or federal takings. Those are like eminent domain type of a thing. So first of all, the plaintiffs argued that they had a vested right to use and enjoy their properties, which is true. So a lot of times, if you think about your property rights, they go up into infinity and down into the ground, like with oil and gas rights. So you have the right to look over your property. You have the right to use the airspace above it. And you would think that smelling is part of that air rights maybe idea, or just the enjoyment of your property, right? The sweet country air. But in this case, the Right to Farm Act said, no, we're gonna limit that in farmers' cases because we have a specific legislative agenda to promote the production of food and other agricultural products as an essential part of our farm economy in the state of Indiana and other aspects. So they said your right to use your property isn't unlimited, right? So you've got just this ability to live on your property but not necessarily be free from the odors that are downstream or upstream from you. The Court of Appeals said that really this law is comfortably within the legislature's legitimate constitutional authority. That says we're right in the bullseye. The legislature did it. And they said when we enacted this law, we give a special rule, a special exception for nuisances like smell, right? So normally you couldn't have these kind of noxious odors, but because the legislature carved that out and said in the case of farming, we're going to protect farming in this particular way, no nuisance occurred, right? They also said this is not a regulatory taking, right? A taking is like eminent domain, that they came and they took your property without just compensation. So the Court of Appeal said, nope, that doesn't apply either. There's no regulatory taking. That only applies where, get this, all, or substantially all economic or productive use of your property is taken. The facts in this case are stunning because the property owners, one of them lost 60% of the value of their farm and their home. The other one lost 49.5%. So if you lose half or 60% of the value of your home, our Court of Appeal says you're still getting a substantial value for your property. You're getting to use it. You can live there. 60% is not a taking. Wow. That seems like a big number to me, particularly on any property. If you take 60% of anything, that's a big loss in my eyes. But according to the Court of Appeals, beware, 60% is not enough. All or substantially all economic or productive use of your property. That was a very key, very open-ended, very broad standard. They also looked at the physical invasion of the property, that the odor was not a physical invasion of the property. A lot of times with eminent domain, you have to physically take a little bit of the land, like with a road. Think about a road. So they physically took part of your land, or they took your building, right? The road goes through it. There's a physical taking. They wouldn't go that way with the odors, right? So physical idea. Very big case, very important. Protecting our farmers, right? So we're definitely trying to give them a special carve out. So if you move out to the country because you want that clean, fresh air, beware that there are other laws that come into play besides what you might normally consider. So big case, the right to farm case. I'll give you the site on Facebook. You'll see that. Hope you enjoy reading it fully if you'd like to, and give us a call if you need any further information. Thank you.